We got swole Batman, skinny Batman, and fast Batman.
What about Fat Batman? Are you ever going to be able to wear the cape?
Listen,
are you Fat Batman?
If we score on a screen, I'm getting that cape, and I'm being Fat Batman. I promise you that.
Somebody's got to save the world, Jason. Are you going to do it? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to New Heights, a Jukes original show presented by Wave Sports and Entertainment. This is a show where we talk everything in the NFL, even the butt blunders of the NFL. We are your hosts. I'm Travis Kelce, tight end with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is my big brother, Jason Kelce, center for the Philadelphia Eagles. You can catch a new episode every single Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on all social media platforms at New Heights Show. Jason, what we got coming up?
Yeah, well, we got the Eagles obviously still undefeated, 3-0. The Chiefs struggled this last week, so we're going to get into that.
You think you're better than me? You think you're better than me, man?
I'm just stating facts. I think
Touché.
I think we're going to obviously touch on both of those games. We're going to touch on other things across the league, whether it's concussions, the new Pro Bowl lineup and layout.
Pumped about that.
As well as maybe touch on some Tom Brady stories with you guys playing the Bucs next week. But first, we're going to go to the New Heights headquarters and check out some new news. I made a triumphant return to Twitter.
Woohoo! Them Twitter fingers is hot!
I don't even like saying triumphant. I would say more like begrudging return to Twitter. I don't know.
You are.
I've never been a big social media guy, but
what? Your first 4 years in the league, you were the man on Twitter. You were like the shield for the NFL on Twitter.
Listen,
everybody loved you.
I was good at it, but doesn't mean I like it. Sometimes you do stuff just to
fill the time.
Yeah, what I mean. You get a little bit bored. Recently, I've been a little bit busier with the family and everything.
It looks like how you're trolling on Twitter already, that you're enjoying it.
Well, I love trolling my man Travis Kelce, that's for sure.
This man's Twitter fingers are hot. Hotter than Donald Trump when he was president, man. This guy's just commenting on everything.
Between the podcast, the foundation starting up, the season, I figured it'd be as good a time as any to hop back on the Twitterverse. So
everybody follow my man. He's if you think he's funny on here, you should catch him on Twitter, man.
Other things new to New Heights were last week we reached number 1 on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Number 1 in the world!
It was for a brief moment, but we will take it. For a brief moment, we are the heavyweight champions of the sports category of podcasts.
Woo! Thank you, listeners. We appreciate you guys.
We definitely appreciate the support. The ratings and reviews have been pouring in. A lot of 5 stars. Please keep clicking whatever you feel the podcast is, but I hope you feel it's 5 stars. If not, write a review. We love reading reviews.
We love reading reviews.
Matter of fact, we love reading them so much, we'll read one right now.
Not right now.
All right, this one is from Josh Conxel.
There it is.
Question, being that y'all are brothers playing at the highest level in football, do you feel you're more tuned into the details of how each other's teams are doing? Also, in a possible Super Bowl matchup, who's your mom rooting for? Side note, I love the show so much. I listen to it cutting trees. I love a good arborist. Josh, I appreciate the support. Indeed, go Bird Gang. You want to take it first? Your first crack at answering that?
No. I would say that yes, I do feel a little more in tune with the Eagles. I'm a fan of the Eagles because I'm a fan of Jason, obviously. But I would say that just being around the organization, being around, the family rooms after games, being at the stuff that you do in the off season, I actually have a good relationship with a few of the guys on the team. So I naturally just root for those guys and see how they're doing. I think that the offenses are kind of similar and things like that. And then 12 years in, you start to have an appreciation for the city and everything that comes with being a fan of the team. So it's just, I think without a doubt, I'm rooting for the Eagles on the other side of things.
Yeah, I think the same thing on this end. Andy Reid drafted both of us, so I know a lot of people over in the Chiefs organization. The first thing I do when I get off the field, if my brother's already playing, is check my apps to see how he's doing, what his stat line is, how the team's doing. And then if he's not playing, the first thing I do is find a nearest TV to make sure I watch him play. So I think, when you spend that much time thinking about your brother, you obviously develop a close relationship with the team and the players and the coaches that are all out there with him and doing it together. So definitely follow the Chiefs in season. Pretty hardcore.
I think it's easy for you to just check the box score and being like, oh, all right, yeah, he's having a solid day.
Easier for me. Yeah.
I'm looking at what are the rushing yards looking like? How many sacks do the Eagles give up already? And also flags. Are there any? Yeah. Did we get any flags today?
I actually like going and searching your name on the either Twitterverse or Google, and that kind of pops up highlights and stuff right away.
Well,
Twitter's
my favorite search engine for 1,000%.
I want to get back to Josh's question. Who is Mom rooting for in the Super Bowl?
I thought it was going to be me until this past weekend, and Mom threw an absolute dagger into my heart.
That was not
still
nice
love
of
you,
Mom.
It's okay. It was kind of nice because she's such an angel. You don't see that side of her every now and then, but you need to just to stay disciplined, stay in line with life. My mom mentioned
share it.
That my brother's her favorite because he has two beautiful daughters, and until I get kids in the family, I will be second to Jason. So,
by the way, what a terrible thing of Mom to say. Like, it is awful.
First of all, you don't talk about Mom like that, okay? She's a saint.
It's terrible.
It is not. No, I get what she's saying. She loves her granddaughters. There's nothing wrong with that.
We should not be pushing Travis Kelce into having children anytime soon. So, Mom, please stop pressuring this man. That is an awful decision. Let's let this thing take the time that it requires and needs to happen organically without pressure from Mama Kelce on his shoulders.
I'm not commenting on this anymore. Mom, I love you. Don't think I feel bad about that comment.
Mom, thanks for rooting for me if we ever play each other in the Super Bowl. All right. Back to the Twitter thing. One of my favorite things post-game, though, to rehash this, is to search guys on Twitter, like immediately following the game. Do you do that as well, or is that just a me thing? It's not immediate. Obviously, while you're in the locker room, you're still with the guys, stuff like that. But I enjoy if somebody had a huge play or something negative happened. I don't know why. I like searching Twitter. Am I an asshole for that?
Just to see. No, because it's
people
pure
are creative.
Grade A entertainment. All right,
Dude,
Twitter always wins. It's forever.
Unbelievable.
You could win everything in life, and Twitter will still find a way to embarrass you.
For fans wondering if players read your tweets, we can't read all of them, but I can tell you I thoroughly enjoy a lot of the things you creative individuals come up with. So keep those Twitter fingers rolling. Yeah.
Keep
my gosh.
Please. Here we go, baby. On to another week of 12 bold topics. We wrap up week 3 in the NFL. How we do it is Jason tees up the topics about my game, and I tee up all the topics on his game. Jason, why don't you start us off, man?
The Kelces are no longer undefeated, thanks to Travis and the Chiefs losing their first game to the Colts, 17-20. Tight. Yeah, I had a feeling you might say that. First loss of the season. Travis, what is your analysis of the game and yourself?
I mean, it's just an embarrassing performance. On my end, I know I had at least 4 opportunities to come up big for my team just by catching the ball, let alone the effort plays and things that come along with just being a great teammate. I just got to catch the freaking ball, man. It's a great ball by Pat.
Why do you think you dropped it?
Lack of focus. That's the biggest thing. Trying to think of multiple things at once. And there's no excuse at all to why I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball because, well, my meaning to that is that I'm not going to say the sun. I'm not going to say, I don't care if the sun was right in my eye. I have to find a way to catch the ball. There's no excuse when it comes to that. My focus was just I had moved on from trying to catch the ball to making sure that my feet were down, and I just got to be able to lock in mentally and differentiate the two. You know what I mean? Catch the ball first, then worry about the feet.
We saw the Mahomes and Bieniemy stuff on the sideline. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to say anything? I love both. It's not really your place to talk about it, right? This is between.
I mean, 2 guys that are fired up, that love, playing the game, that love coaching. They put all their heart into it, and in a situation like we were having in the first half, where I don't think we were necessarily on fire, we were struggling. You know, you're going to have guys bumping heads on what we think should happen or what we should do in the future. And we were getting the ball at half, so I understand both sides of the story. I understand both sides of the situation. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see that in every single locker room. You're going to see that on every single sideline. If the cameras are on the sideline, guys are just it's a heated battle, man. Guys are putting everything they can into this, so every single decision matters. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't think we were right or wrong whichever decision we made.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, when you're in a competitive situation, sometimes these types of things happen between competitive individuals.
Just is what it is.
I don't think anything of it, to be honest with you. I actually kind of like it, if I'm being completely honest.
This guy's fired up, man.
Listen, man, if you don't, at least it shows that you care. Now, it's got to be genuine. You can't just be like you can't be doing it every single game. And like after every fourth down, throwing a temper tantrum. But every once in a while, you know, it's like, oh, okay, this dude's like mad. That's a good thing you want to see sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be able to control it, you know, but
1,000%.
But
which I think it was very controlled, and I think it was very controlled.
Did you see Ken Dorsey's blow up on the sideline?
Did I?
In the press box.
Yes,
dude. I haven't seen something like that.
That was a full on temper tantrum,
bro. I haven't seen something like that since, you know, I was whooping your ass in Blitz on the Nintendo 64 growing up.
You've never seen me spaz like that, dude.
Dude, you used to turn
spaz.
You used to turn the system off mid-game and run to the bathroom and lock the door.
And run to the bath? What does this have to do with anything about spazzing out and being frustrated and throwing a temper tantrum?
You throw the controller, run out, and lock the door.
Why would I lock the door? What does that have to do with anything? The only time I ever locked the door is when I was scared for my life that you might kill me. That was the only time I ever locked the door. And if that is the situation at hand, that means why am I turning off the console because I'm losing because you're about to kill me? That doesn't make any fucking sense. You're just talking out your neck right now.
You didn't want to lose, so you would turn the game off before you were losing,
and then run because I turned the game off. Now my life is in danger.
Apparently, why else would you run? I don't know. You're the one who ran.
This guy gets hit in the head for a living, ladies and gentlemen.
Did this not happen? What?
No, I just admitted that I would fucking run, but it was only when my life was in danger. And there was never a situation where I would turn the console off and feel like my life was in danger. I turned the console off and just like, fuck you, this game's over with.
So when did you run to the bathroom?
I don't know. When I was poking the bear, like when Dad wouldn't let you go out and hang out with your friends. And I would just be like, "Oh, JT can't leave the house. He can't leave the house. He's such a big, strong boy that has to stay inside because he's so immature. He's not. Can't be trusted."
You want to talk about making stuff up? All right. Moving on. How do you move on from a loss like that? What's the emphasis? You guys just had meetings today.
Yeah.
What was Andy talking about? What was Bieniemy talking about? What's the process?
Attack everything, man. Just attack your fundamentals, attack your mindset, attack your focus, where your focus was. Be your biggest critic when you watch that film, and find ways to keep getting better. And that's the biggest challenge. That's why I love Coach Reed. He challenges us right here, man. He's gonna challenge you as a man, as a professional. He's gonna challenge your integrity about your job and what your livelihood is, and how are you gonna respond to that? You know, and I tell you what, I think it's been an unbelievable pleasure to be under him because of his guidance, and I think that we're definitely gonna. I can't even say we've already started the process of figuring out how to overcome last week, and you know, it starts with every single decision that you make. Starts with what time am I getting up tomorrow so I can get into the facility so I can start to get my work done. And you just keep knocking out the right decision time after time, day after day. When you're in practice, your focus is what are the intentions of this play caller? What am I trying to do? How can I help 1-5 back here? How can I help these running backs get downhill? You know, there's just the ultimate focus that you have to have. And that's the professionalism. That's what you were talking about, that the players that sustain in this league, they keep finding ways to get better, even when you have a terrible game or even when you don't show your best.
Yeah, I agree, man.
And those are the best teams. The teams that keep finding ways to get better throughout the season and stay healthy are going to be the teams that are playing at the end.
You need great players too, but I think whenever you lose, especially a bad loss, man, I think you touched on it early. The biggest thing for me is accountability, man. Guys going into that film, players and coaches, like,
oh yeah,
if you go into that film and you're looking at it with the eye of like, oh man, can you believe that guy did this or that guy did that, or like, man, look at that play, that's there. You are fucking up. You are doing a disservice to your team and to yourself. Listen, man, just go into that film and do the best you can to improve as a player and to be there for your teammates.
Be there.
And to pick up that energy. You talked about that earlier. How much bigger for me, when I'm struggling with energy, I don't even think I touched on this. And as I get older, it gets harder to have that energy. And I have to snap out of it. I have to tell myself, Jason, just this next play, just run to the ball and pick the guy up that's on the ground. Go ahead, go and pick your brother up off the goddamn turf. Just go run and go do that. And that, you know what I mean? You have to do these little things. 1,000%. You have to, and I think that goes a long way, especially when things are losing, especially when things are going bad, especially when, people are telling you, oh, the Chiefs aren't the team they have been in the past. They're not this, they're not that. Man, that's when you got to come closer together. That's when you have to rely on each other more. That's when you have to take more self-accountability. And it's hard because everybody's pushing you and pulling at you at a different realm, a different way. And, I have no doubt you guys are have the great leadership. I know Andy Reid's going to steer that thing right. Can't wait to see what you guys bounce back with next week.
Enough of that game so I can finally move on from that shit show of a performance that I put on the field. Eagles 24, Commanders 8. You got after your guy Carson Wentz, man. The first division game.
Yep.
Went on the board 3-0, man. The Eagles, you guys look great, brother. I'm not gonna lie, man. You guys are hitting on all cylinders. What's the difference about this Eagles team? What are you smelling? What's the feeling?
Well, obviously, we have some really, really good players on the squad. I think we've had good leaders for a while. I don't know. It's tough to put your finger. I just think across the board, everybody's doing their part. Jalen is playing out of his mind right now, and whenever you have a quarterback that's playing that well,
oh yeah, you're
going to be winning games. The receivers that he has to throw to, whether it's AJ, whether it's Devontae, whether it's Quez, whether it's Dallas.
Whether it's Dallas taking a screen to the house.
Yeah. There's
man, a little tight end you love, baby.
That's right. He's a very underappreciated tight end in this league.
1,000%. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah. We know how good he is in Philadelphia, but definitely underappreciated nationally. I think, all of that leads to, a very dynamic offense. I think defensively, I don't know necessarily how they got good players. I don't really, outside of that, I think whatever Jonathan Gannon is doing right now is, it's affecting the quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins comes into the link last week, struggles to get any type of rhythm whatsoever. Carson Wentz this week at home. 9 sacks. I don't know if I've seen a 9-sack game.
I think Joe Burrow might have went through some big sack games this year, but I don't know about 9 in one game.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm not going to lie. At some point, we got to figure out where the fuck our hot is, and we got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
I respect the competitiveness to keep trying to stay in there, man. But eventually we gotta find a way to get the ball out of our hands, bud.
Yeah, or call something that gets it out of there quicker. I don't know.
Touché.
Who knows what led? Whenever it's 9 sacks, in my opinion, that's everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody.
That's the O-line. It's what's involved in protection. It's the quarterback and it's the play caller.
No, 100%.
What are we doing here? We're not. I think that that is a bad sign across the board.
100%, or a good sign if you're the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, yeah, great for us.
You guys got a great secondary.
My man Fletcher Cox,
ferocious. Yeah, Fletch, man, just can't say enough about him, man. I love that dude. You got a ferocious D line, linebackers flying around. You guys look good, man. Special teams wise, I haven't seen too much on the special teams board, but you guys have any big time returns or just solid?
No, just solid across the board. I mean, I
good for you, man.
Retain.
What do you think? Better than me?
My man Covey.
Better than me?
My man Covey muffed a punt last week, and it was like as soon as it went in the air, I felt the gust of wind, like just big, and you saw the ball move, and he kind of dropped it. Was killing himself after the game, but that dude's pretty reliable. Outside of that, I think they're about as reliable as you can get. The special teams have been so far. Jake Elliott, outstanding kicker, and good friend. So Aaron Sippos made our punter did make a tackle last week. That was pretty impressive against the Vikings. But
nice. I'm not gonna lie, punters making tackles isn't always the best thing. Like if you're relying on your punter to make that tackle, we gotta get a better.
Well, it was a blocked field goal, I think.
I do remember.
I'm trying to remember what the play was.
I do remember that. I think it was Patrick Peterson. Maybe came around the corner.
Yeah, I think so.
I was there, enjoying myself.
We should both remember it for sure.
So, is this a Philly underdog team? Like you guys always have that underdog mentality as a city. I feel like it's always kind of been that way. Is this an underdog team, or do you guys kind of feel that sense of the year that you won the Super Bowl? That same kind of everybody doesn't see us coming. They're not really worried about us.
Well, I think there's a lot of analysts that thought we were going to be pretty good before the season started, especially when we picked up A.J. Brown, drafted Jordan Davis. We picked up we made a lot of off-season acquisitions that I think, we were definitely a sleeper team for a lot of people out there. Being an underdog is more a mentality, and I think Nick Sirianni touches this very, very well when he talks to the team about dog mentality. I think really it's just this relentlessness, this just like, this feeling that, we're going to ignore whatever outside noises out there, whatever anybody else is going to tell us, how good we are, how good they think we are. We're going to go out there and claim what we're worth. We're going to go out there and show you and prove to you what we are. That's what I think an underdog is. And I think that, that's largely, I think, a term that the city of Philadelphia associates with, the story of Rocky Balboa, all of the greats that have played in Philadelphia, somewhere along the lines, coming from, these places of.
Did you just call Rocky Balboa a great?
I mean, he's a great all-time fictional character, but I mean,
all right,
come on, Apollo Creed.
That's not Rocky, but I know which one you're talking about.
What are you talking about? That's not Rocky. He beats Apollo Creed. That was the dad. Have you watched the original Rockies?
Yes. I've watched all the movies. I just think it's hilarious that you guys pump this dude up, man. Sylvester Stallone's. I love him, man. I love him. Yeah. Why not just? Well,
the reason he's so pumped up is because Sylvester Stallone, man, dude killed it having him from Philadelphia. He understood. I mean, look at Rocky Balboa, the movie Invincible, about my man Vince Papale.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you look at like what Philadelphia identifies as, it identifies as the guy that, perseveres despite all odds, that finds a way to get it done, improve, what he's worth. That's like the underdog mentality in Philadelphia is strong. So, yeah, I do think, I hope this is an underdog team. I don't know if we're where we're at and whether people think we're good or not. I think that being an underdog is more about your mindset, the dog mentality that Nick Sirianni preaches. Right now, we got that, and we got to keep that.
Not going to lie, brother. I got to bring it up. And you can avoid this question as much as you want because it has a little strategy into it. But 2 4th-and-1 plays didn't go for the QB sneak. What are we talking to Sirianni about this? Are we going into the huddle saying, whatever he calls, like let's just know this QB sneak is a 92% success rate, all right?
Yeah, I think obviously referencing last episode, I think as you know, you can't do quarterback sneak every 4th-and-1, every 3rd-and-1. I think it is a great tool. There was one where we were going to call it.
This guy's double backing. This guy's double.
There was one opportunity we were going to run and call it, and the opposing coach called timeout. We thought they were geared up for it, so we went with something else.
Did you get it?
No, we got stuffed on fourth down.
Fuck.
We ran a jet sweep.
Jet sweep?
Travis.
This was your other play. You said it was either QB sneak or jet sweep. Man,
we didn't say that on
tried
air.
to roll out, man.
We did not say that on air. We were talking about that off air. No.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad.
It's actually, it's a, we thought that they were geared up to stop the sneak. Everybody's loaded in the box. Decided to go with the jet sweep. Didn't work out. Oh, hindsight's 20/20, right? And then the other 4th and 1 was a 2-minute situation going into the half. And as you know, you go with the quarterback sneak. There's quite a big pile, and that can eat up a lot of time. So I think in that situation, we opted to try and go with plays that we could run 3 to 4 possibly there when we had 18 seconds left on the 1-yard line going into the half.
Run another one or spike it.
Yeah, they didn't. I think that probably played into it as well.
Got to keep every single little detail going through these coaches' minds, man. They do so much.
Oh yeah,
so much film work, so many studies, so many. They got analytics in their brain like it's a computer chip, man. And those decisions are never easy. It's a lot of communication on the sideline before you even think about what play you're going to call. And yeah. But moving on, your guy Carson Wentz. You guys exchanged jerseys, man.
Oh yeah, got me.
I haven't seen you do that too many times. I think I might be the only one, and you didn't even write "I love you" on it. You just fucking threw it at me.
You guys had won the game, so I was not in a good mood. So,
who is more excited to see Carson, you or the Philadelphia Eagles D-line?
I think the D-line definitely had a great day with
9 sacks, man.
There are a lot of us that were excited to see Carson again. I think actually. Me, Carson, and Fletch were all texting before the game. Me and Fletch were vying to see which one of us was going to be able to get the first jersey swap with Carson. I think Fletch will get that in the second outing between the commies. But yeah, I'm a proud owner of a Carson Wentz commies jersey, and that'll for sure go up in the man cave eventually. I think Carson. We had. I was with him from his rookie year. We had a lot of great years in Philadelphia. Cannot say enough great things about that guy. It did not end well in Philadelphia, so I think there's, different circumstances for that. But, I can speak for a lot of guys on the team that we still have a lot of respect and a lot of love for our man Carson Wentz.
I'll tell you what, man. He's an ultimate competitor, man. You're going to see that dude compete until the final whistle every single time. That's what I've always respected about him. Going into jersey swaps, though, are you you're not a big jersey swap guy? No,
I think I've asked less than a handful of guys to swap jerseys. But
always like previously talked about though. Like you'll know going into a game when you're swapping jerseys, right?
No, I swapped jerseys with a former teammate, Halapuliati Vaitai, Big V, up in Detroit, who was with us on the Super Bowl team last year when we played them. That happened organically right at the end of the game. I just asked him, and we made it happen. Most of the time, we don't talk about it before the times, and most of it's people coming up to me and being like, "Hey, man, you want to swap jerseys?" And I almost always say yes, as long as I haven't agreed to do it with somebody else. So I got a good collection of guys that I got a lot of respect for and guys that I've battled with, linebackers, D linemen, and I've gotten quite a bit of former teammates, whether they're Eagles jerseys or guys that have gone on to other teams. So,
dude,
what about you?
I'm the absolute worst with jersey swaps, man. I owe probably half the tight ends in the league a jersey, and they're all just sitting in my locker.
Yeah,
I'm the worst.
There's a couple.
I just don't. I don't know. And they just keep piling up and piling up. Like Shaquille Leonard, I got to get my guy Shaquille a jersey from last week, and I'm like, man, do I get him his jersey first, or do I get Logan Thomas and Mike Gesicki the jerseys from like 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Like I got a few guys, and then obviously we were talking earlier about my guy Reggie Ragland, man. Shout out to Reggie, my guy Reggie.
Reggie was playing with the New York Giants what was that, last year or 2 years ago? And he came up to me and said, "Hey, man, tell your brother he owes me a jersey." And I'm like, "Damn, okay, I got you." So
I love that guy.
I got a couple outstanding as well. I owe some guys some jerseys too. And let's take care of that this week. Both of you. Let's finally send them out and be a good.
I got to worry about the Bucs. I'll get the jerseys out some other time. I got to worry about focus on football.
All right,
I'm only worried, guys. I'll get you the jerseys. My apologies. They're so late. Are there any guys that you haven't swapped with that you want to swap?
I don't know. You? Who do you want to swap with?
All I can think of now are just like the tight ends that I appreciate watching. I want to have a room full of tight end jerseys, like all the guys that I grew throughout the league playing and came into the league same time as. So I right now I'm looking at all the young tight ends to be able to get a jersey out of. Nobody just off the top of my head. But if I see like a young tight end or even like a DB that I respect a lot, I'll go ahead and offer for sure.
You tight ends, you guys are tight. I have never traded jerseys with the center, and I don't plan on doing it. I've traded jerseys with D-line, linebackers. I think
it's because you guys are getting paid. We're not getting paid, so we got to like come together and like.
That is weird. Why are centers getting paid more than tight ends?
I don't know, because traditionally the tight end has just been, athlete, a tweener guy, a guy that's kind of like just like a athletic. Athletic. He's basically the.
I'm not complaining.
You know what the tight end is? The tight end is the athletic small forward and power forward, like the tweener, the guy that he can't really do it on the court playing small power forward. Can't really get it. No, but that's what I'm saying. They're usually basketball guys, that tweener that you just don't know necessarily what to do with them.
Small forwards get paid in the NBA. The three's getting broke off.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So typically, if you're a small forward, you have the ability to guard another small forward. The tweeners are like, I can guard the 4, but I can't guard the 3, or I can guard the 3, I can't guard the 4. You know what I mean? We're the tweener. We're that wide receiver that's just not fast enough or too big, and we're that tackle that's just, not strong.
Yeah, but when you do have a guy that can legitimately do both, I feel like that is insane value. It's so hard to find that guy.
But the thing is, you have to be able to switch your entire offense to be around that guy, like a George Kittle, like what we've been able to do here with the Chiefs. A lot of the offense is predicated off of the tight end, where in a lot of offenses, the tight end is just that kind of extra piece. Yeah.
Sure.
He's never looked at as like the number one option. And I think that's where you just don't get a lot of guys getting the opportunities like I get in Kansas City. And what that means is that, all right, if they're not going to get these opportunities, then why are we paying them like wide receivers or like, these other positions? Which the more we get guys to make big time plays or have unbelievable seasons, like a Mark Andrews, like a guy like Darren Waller just did, getting 17 a year. I think with that the
Darren Waller's getting 17 a year.
I believe he just extended to get 17 a year.
Holy shit. Never. The centers ain't making that much. All right. Well, so if you are a legit tweener or a guy that they can focal around, they are getting broke off now.
George is making 15 a year. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. I will say that.
I think. Tight end, the redheaded stepchild of NFL offenses. Yeah.
Chill out, man. Eagles wide receivers have a Batman cape.
Dude,
tell me the story behind it.
Well, the story is Darius Slay was in a interview, press conference. I don't know what he was in at some point this offseason or training camp, and they asked him a question about like who the I don't know what the question was, but essentially Slay was like, hey, all of our options are Batmans. We don't got no Robins. They're all Batmans.
No boy wonders.
Yeah. He said we got
that's a solid
we got swole Batman, skinny Batman, and fast Batman. Dude, it was a great.
That's good. That's a good bit.
That's grade A stuff from my man Slay.
So what about fat Batman? Now, are you ever going to be able to wear the cape?
Listen,
are you fat man? Fat Batman?
If we score on a screen, I'm getting that cape and I'm being fat Batman. I promise you that. That is going to happen. The next screen we score on, Fat Batman is going to be on the sideline. The Batman cape, love the confidence, love the energy that these guys are showing, that they're embracing, all of them being great options. And I think it's awesome. I love seeing stuff like that.
So are you a Batman guy? Are you like you love the Batman movies? Like, have you seen them all? Or
I'm not a superhero guy in general, but I've seen the Batman movies. Yes.
Are you? I mean, so who is the best Batman? I mean, you have to ask that question once you're talking Batmans.
I've always been more of a Joker.
I love Batman.
I've always been more of a Joker. Yeah, Joker's a better character. There's more depth to him. He's got more interesting.
He's just a zombie. That's all he is. He's a homeless man.
You
haven't
been watching the movies.
That's not what he is? I thought he was.
It's a complicated individual, Travis. It's a complicated man.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I
don't get jazzed up to root for a billionaire's adopted son or something like that who's got a bunch of toys to go fight crime. What the fuck do I give a fuck about Batman for?
Somebody's got to save the world, Jason. Are you going to do it?
Yeah, we got people out there doing that already, I think, and I don't think I'm out on the Batman nonsense.
All right, well, we'll get off of Batman.
Born in the darkness.
We're from Cleveland, anyways, man. We're Superman guys, man.
Why do you wear a cape? There was a weird scene when I was younger, and I saw a bat. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? It's so stupid. He lives in a cave. It's nonsense, Travis.
He doesn't live in a cave.
He lives in his bat cave.
Oh well, yeah,
underneath Wayne Enterprises.
Oh yeah, there you go, downtown. See, you know more than me. Golly.
I said I've seen the movies. I think they're preposterous. It's not supposed to be realistic. Granted,
either is Rocky, but you guys are running away.
Listen,
with that one.
If I'm choosing between Batman and fucking Rocky, I'll fucking roll with Rocky any fucking day of the week. I don't need to even, that's not even a question. It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's about how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Adrian!
Yeah.
Adrian!
That is the call of a man with progressive CTE calling out to his loved one. A man who has been through the ringer and has destroyed
Jason Balboa, ladies and gentlemen.
Every possible brain cell just to make it through round 15. He still lost, but he went the distance with the champ. And he's calling out to his woman. I might have lost on paper, but I'm a winner because I did it in my heart. And you're cheering for a guy with a fucking bat belt. Get the fuck out of here.
Moving on from both of our games, what else is going on in the NFL? We had the Tua head injury. A very
talking about Rocky Balboa. Do you think he was Adrian?
David Waddle. Are you kidding me?
It's not funny. It's not
funny because he actually is okay, and he went back into the game.
Well,
and he won the game, is what he did. I'm not sure what he did when he went back into the game, but I do know that it was not a good look.
Yeah, I apologize for laughing. I saw the clip. Let me tell you, man, dude, it's not funny. I've
been there. I've been.
That's why it's not funny. Listen, man. You want to talk about one of the most terrifying things. I can't imagine being his family and watching that. Watching you against the Titans in that playoff game. That was one of the scariest things I had to watch.
Man,
you never, even a knee. It's like, oh man, that sucks. I hope he's okay. But there's something about when somebody is visibly kind of shaken,
woozy, like they're in a boxing ring, like they just got knocked out.
That is a uncomfortable position as a loved one. I think the video definitely appeared to show him shaken up on the play.
Concussed.
Yeah.
It looked like he was concussed. I've seen a lot of hits. I've been in a situation where my left leg, you were talking about the Titans game. I remember I got evaluated I don't think I necessarily got evaluated for a concussion as concussed because I remember everything, but what I had going on was like I took a right hook from Mike Tyson and it just jacked up all the nerves, all the I don't even know what to call it, just like the nerves going through my arms and my leg on my left side of my body. And what it did was it probably just overstretched the things that were like sending those signals to my legs, if that makes sense. And it
does.
Having your body not respond is not a cool feeling. I mean, it's just a lot of like, what the heck is going on? Luckily enough, after a few minutes, I started to get all the tension and all the feeling back in my arms and my leg. But it was not a fun experience to go through. I mean, it was like I had like a heat sensation go down my left side of my body, and that looked very similar. Watching Tua, kind of his legs giving out,
but
when his teammates were holding him up, it was almost like he was just like a limp body. And that's where it gets scary. Yeah. Even if you aren't concussed, now you're dealing with certain things going on in your neck and your head area that are sending, signals to other parts of the body, telling you don't need to be standing right now. So that's a scary feeling, a scary sight to see, man.
So before we judge him going back into the game, let's just say the hit that you took was your head went to the side and clearly like got compressed over there. So it makes sense that you had those issues with your neck. Tua really was a weird thing. He got pushed and the back of his head hit the ground.
The whiplash, yeah.
Yeah, which we've seen before. When you hit the back of your head like that can cause some issues.
I got another story in Houston where my head hit and I was playing on turf.
Yeah.
It was in Houston, caught a ball over the middle, hit the ground. As I was hitting the ground, my head like hit a guy's knee, which then made it whiplash and smacked the turf. Yeah, and bounced off the turf. And it was during a 2-minute drive. I went into halftime asking what the heck happened, and I had like 3 opportunities on the goal line to make a catch, and none of the catches, but I had no idea what I had just done from that moment on. And that's when I knew that was the first like real concussion that I ever had, because I was sitting there like the plays didn't even happen. Like that time in my life wasn't even, memorable. So it was that was the scary feeling to know that was the first like real concussion I had. And when you get that whiplash and your head hits the ground, man, it's almost like it's like it speeds up your neck. You don't need that whiplash. It's just makes it that much more aggressive.
Yeah, the whipping motion seems to be the one that guys get the most when it causes these like concussion symptoms. But I think let's talk a little bit about the protocols. Like I've been in the concussion protocol before. You've been in the concussion protocol before. Just so everyone knows, this isn't like.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, go back on in there, Johnny.
You got it?
Yeah, you're good.
Follow my
2
finger.
thumbs up. Yeah, no, I think the NFL really does an incredibly thorough job to the point where if you're not concussed, it's actually quite annoying to have to go through.
It's tedious for sure.
Yeah, I think those replays were looked at by somebody who was medically certified and an expert in that field, and he's independent from either of the 2 teams. So what they do is they look at the play, they see if the player's head was struck, they look at how the person is moving, if he's stumbling the way Tua was, if he's shaken up. They're taking in all that information as well as giving an in-depth evaluation in the tent. So what gives me solace with the fact that Tua was allowed to go back on the field was by the visual on the field, knowing the concussion protocol, the only way they let him back in there is if he aced what happened in that tent.
Knew like every single thing that happened.
Yeah, if there was any sign in that tent, I feel very confident that the NFL would not have allowed him back on the field. He must have been in there and like been on it. They do all sorts of motory tests. They do memory tests. They do. There's your doctor and the independent doctor in there. So the the doctor that is with you all the time can ask you more personal questions of things that you should know the answers to. There are balance tests, coordination tests. I mean, it's a pretty thorough and
It takes some time too. It's not like this all happens in a matter of minutes. Like this is like you're out for a substantial amount of time before you're allowed to be back in the game if you do get cleared.
So although I do think the replay does clearly show him wobbling, and that is something that is
not a good look. No,
it's not a good look. Knowing the protocol necessary to go back out there, man, I think the NFL does a phenomenal job with this head injury stuff.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's gone overboard. But I don't know that there's such thing in terms of preventing head injuries. So, you've had, how many concussions have you had?
I think personally that was the only real concussion that I had in terms of like memory loss. I was confused. I felt foggy, like my mind. I couldn't think of things. Like that was really the only time I had ever felt concussed, and I immediately told the docs. I was like, "Yo, I don't remember this. I don't remember that." And then I got looked at and evaluated, and got told that I shouldn't go back in. And then talking about that Titans game. I'll have to actually go to the docs and ask them if I even got like diagnosed with a concussion. I think it was more so preventative of the neck injury and like what I was going through with my nerves. And
well, what I bet system. It was, you talked about you weren't sending signals to your legs and arms. Part of it's not. Yeah. There's the cognitive part of the concussion. And then there's also the part of the concussion that can, like you said, if the nerves or the way your head gets hit, and it's just not sending the signals down. And you can't protect yourself properly.
It's not safe for you to go back in there. Yeah,
exactly.
No, they're not going to let you go back in, and that's what happened in that situation. So I've been concussed at least one time. Hopefully, the only time. But
I am not
it's hard to say how you can avoid head injuries in this game.
I've been pretty fortunate. I haven't, I certainly have had, I'm sure, head injuries, and I'm not a doctor, but so far I have not had a concussion playing football. I did go to the tent one time, and that was because I went to the wrong sideline initially, which bad look, really bad look. Let me explain. We were going one way. You come onto the field, right? A certain direction, and then we switched at the quarter, and I forgot that the quarter had ended and we had switched going directions. And I went off the same way I went on, and then by the time I looked up, I was like, oh, my God. This is the wrong sideline. All the Falcons are like, yo, get him out of here. He fucked up. And I'm like, guys, I promise I'm not concussed.
You're not allowed to joke about this shit.
Well, it's funny because I wasn't concussed. I was just being a moron and oblivious, as you know, to my surroundings, which is a very Jason Kelce thing. You want to talk about tunnel vision. When you're looking down and you look up and all of a sudden you see a bunch of white Atlanta Falcons jerseys, that's not a good sign. But I did have one concussion, I think, and it wasn't playing football. Travis, you know this concussion story pretty well.
Oh, boy. The good old Cincinnati dodgeball.
That's right. I have played football, hockey, lacrosse. I played football in the NFL this is my 12th season. Knock on wood, so far, no concussions playing contact sports. But my one concussion does involve a dodgeball tournament in college with a prize of a beer keg. That was
at our favorite
that's what
bar.
Did me in.
You know what? It was the most unbelievable concussion that I've ever seen in my life.
I am so proud of that concussion. I'm not going to lie.
We're down. We're already down 1-0, and 2 games. It's the best of 3. So these guys that we're playing are up. I think it's 3 guys to 1, and they all have a ball in their hand. Jason's our one guy, our last hope, and they all are counting to 3. A typical,
semifinal match. This is a semifinal match.
Semifinal match. And they all count to 3 and throw it at Jason at the same time, hoping that somebody gets
classic strategy.
Classic
dodgeball. I mean, it was textbook. They went with the
This is 295-pound. Already looks like he has a keg on his waist. Jason Kelce too. This is an agile, athletic Jason Kelce.
What are you talking
flying
about?
down the field. This dude is a sloppy. You could see that doesn't even care about his beard, his hair is like sticking together. Like
I must have been pretty agile if I was the only one still in the game.
I'll tell you what, it was the most freakishly 295-pounder move I've ever seen in my life. So he avoids one dodgeball, catches another while he's avoiding it, and the third one hits him right in the shoulder and shoots right up in the air. Starting to go backwards. We're playing in a gymnasium. Jason's tracking the ball like he's
I
Willie
didn't catch
Mays.
the second. Hold on, you were screwing up there. I didn't catch. I dodged two of them. I got hit by the third one. Goes up over the shoulder. Go ahead.
This is true.
Okay.
Ball goes up over his shoulder. He's tracking the ball like Willie Mays. Not caring where he's running. Not even knowing that he's shortening the distance to the cement wall every step that he takes.
It was like slow motion. It was like Sandlot when Smalls has his glove just up there. He's just like.
Jason dives over his shoulder, fully extends, just grips the ball right into his chest as his back of his head smacks against the cement wall.
Head first into a cement wall.
Yes, head first right to the cement wall. Full lockup. You guys know when you guys see a lockup because the
rigor mortis.
Arms,
Full rigor mortis.
Everything just locks up. But he locked up, and the balls were squishy, so it just it's like he squeezed all the air out of the ball. And when I tell you, his eyes rolled to the back of his head, and it looked like he was in a different world. But caught the ball. Now, what does that mean when you catch a ball?
Somebody comes back in.
Somebody comes back in. So
one
now
out, one in. It's a two-person swap. Two-man swap. That's a huge play. That's the equivalent of a turnover in football. A catch and dodge ball, I mean, it's a huge momentum shifter. Went on to win it. I was terrible the next game. I couldn't throw the ball or dodge. But we ended up getting the keg.
And we did keg stands at Uncle Woody's, man.
That's right.
A glorious day. Day.
God, I miss Uncle Woody's. All right. Well, back to the Tua situation. If you ever see a teammate who looks like he is concussed, would you ever do something to say something?
100. I mean, I'm 100% saying yo to the trainers, like, yo, you might want to look at this dude. Yeah. Because what it is in us is we're not coming out of the game. I don't care what it is. I fought the Docs that game in the playoffs that we lost against the Titans. I was in there screaming, yelling at everybody. Pat tells the story as me just absolutely erupting and not being able to go back in. But looking back on it, I don't know if I take another hit, what happens. You know what I mean? And that's the scary part that comes with. That's why you sign the waivers, man. Because this game it's an aggressive game, and guys are going to use physicality as a tool, and you just have to understand when to press it and when to be smart about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure if you're seeing signs, that means you're looking at a player that's, one, going to hurt himself, but two, you're looking at a player that's not going to be effective. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go out there with a guy that kind of seems like he's off, and I don't, not just for him, but I think it could hurt our team. Like, I don't think it's necessarily advantageous if a guy is truly showing a lot of those signs, which, I've been on the sideline at least once or twice in my career and be like, yo, man, I don't think such and such is right now. Like, this is not, and I'm not saying like talking to a doctor, I'm just saying talking to teammates, and usually that guy ends up getting pulled anyways. I think every time they've gotten pulled. So I think the head injury thing, I think the entire league takes seriously. We certainly take seriously, as much as we joke a little bit about it. Yeah. I really hope that Tua is okay.
Yeah, I hope Tua's good, man.
And I think that this is something that the league obviously takes very seriously. Moving on. We had a butt punt.
The butt
punt.
Man.
Had a butt punt for a safety. Same game as the Tua head injury. Miami Dolphins punter. And I don't think that's really on the punter. I think that's on the PP.
Yeah, the PP's
got to know. You're backed up. You got to be a little bit tighter. You know what I mean?
Just got to have awareness. Man, that is, it's never a good look when you're, especially in a tight game like that. I mean, that's detrimental. Big time moment. I think it was in the second half. Might have even been in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was, and then something as embarrassing as kicking it off another dude's tail. I mean, you've been a part of a rear
butt
end
scandal, a butt football scandal. Anyways, yeah. So I obviously I played with Mark Sanchez for a couple years.
Sanchez, Shout out to
Obviously,
St. Charles, baby.
Besides being known as a great NFL quarterback and now a commentator and a media personality, he is also well renowned and known as the man with the butt fumble.
Butt fumble. Ran into his own offensive lineman.
And I think I obviously also own one of the all-time butt spoofs. But what are we calling it? But
we got to find a good word for this.
But let me do a little thesaurus action. That's usually
what a nerd. You have a thesaurus app?
Accident. What's a synonym for accident? That's funny. Butt mishaps.
Butt mishaps. Yeah. You've been a part of the tail end of things before.
Yeah, I've been a part of butt mishaps before. Obviously played with Mark Sanchez when he famously known as the butt fumble. And then when we were actually playing your rookie year against the Chiefs, and Mike Vick was a quarterback.
Man.
Thought he was under center. Wasn't under center.
Was not under center. Looked like he
so
just
I am
dropped
the
a
proud.
turd.
Yeah, I'm the proud owner of the butt snap. So,
butt snap. We got a butt snap, a butt fumble, and
butt punt.
Now butt punt. All guys on the tail end of things. All right.
Tyreek Hill weighed in, said, "I've never seen a butt punt, but next time, Sherfield's going to catch it with his butt cheeks because he's got strong butt cheeks."
Those are the gluteus maximus, man. Got to be able to clinch those things whenever.
Does the strength of your butt help you catch things?
I'm assuming Tyreek is saying it like his butt cheeks are going to catch it. Like,
yeah, but I feel like strong-handed people actually aren't good catchers. They're usually like rock hands. Like you need nice
you
supple
need some
hands.
loose cheeks.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. I just don't feel like a firm ass would help in catching. That's all I'm saying. I think Tyreek is off base on this.
That's a fair assessment, man. That's a fair assessment.
Moving on. The NFL has finally got away from the Pro Bowl. Now, wherever you stand on this, in some ways, obviously, incredibly sad to see that tradition going away. Yeah. But, man, I'm excited.
We saw it fading, man.
Yeah,
we saw it fading,
listen,
and I couldn't be more happy where we are.
When that game was really played, it was awesome to watch, and it was something special. But what it is turned into,
it's almost embarrassing, man. It's almost embarrassing to even be a part of.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it's still cool, and I just think that you want to see guys competing. You know, you still want to see a recognition of talented players in the NFL who had a great year and are going to be put on these rosters. You want to see that recognition.
100%.
But for as a fan, as somebody watching it, I want to see these guys competing. I want to see these guys like truly embracing that football competitive spirit, and that wasn't happening with the Pro Bowl. It just wasn't. So why try to
You saw
fit?
bits and pieces of it with the skills competition, which is why I think we're going in this.
Well, that's where it's going to.
Yeah.
It is going to be a skills competition now. It is going to be a flag football game. I don't know how I feel about the flag football. I'm not a big flag football guy. I
flag
think
could be fun though. I think flag could be fun. I think that
listen
7-on-7. You'll see matchups. You'll see guys actually want to play, want to make big plays.
I think that
stuff like that.
I think there's better activities we can do.
Like what?
I would much rather watch freaking cornhole tournaments, guys playing ping
cornhole.
pong. You don't like cornhole?
Ping pong, I'm in, but you got to hope that the guys that are at the Pro Bowl are good at ping pong, or else you're going to get
you don't.
trash ping pong. I hate.
Well,
trash ping pong.
They do. You're right. They do have to be good.
I got to see some good ping pong players.
I'm sure there are guys out there that are good at ping pong. You got to have. What's another game? What are other ones?
Are you bringing drinking?
Obviously,
games into
dodgeball. Dodgeball's got to be a part of it.
Okay.
I think you obviously.
What are we going? All other sports now? Do you throw in like a?
Dude, how about a spike ball tournament? Who would not want to watch a spike? That's what I'm saying, dude. I think they're missing the mark. I think people would be far more excited.
Pickleball.
Make it. Pickleball would be another great one. I love pickleball. What's ultimate frisbee? Nah. I like ultimate frisbee.
Maybe frisbee.
Too many guys that.
No, it's too slow.
But what I'm getting at, I think there's a lot of opportunity here to do something creative and fun and different, and to embrace that competitive spirit.
Talent show. A talent show?
Talent show? I mean,
show off some of it.
Not a bad idea.
At least
dancing competition, touchdown dance celebration contest.
I'm out. I say get the O lineman to do the touchdown dance celebrations.
Dude, I do like. Have you ever seen these viral videos of walking football? I actually think that would be more exciting than flag football. You can't break.
Football, yeah.
I'm serious, dude. You can't break a running pace. You have to walk it. So, but dude, people are getting broke off. I'm telling you, it's good.
You get caught in a bad position.
It's
over
awkward. It's an awkward timing. I'm just letting you know. And then obviously, I think that's a great opportunity to have some drinking games. I mean, who doesn't love getting together at a festive event, drinking some beers and competing? You got what are some good? We got beer ball. You got beer pong. You got beers B. These are all games that I've been training for my entire life.
Flip cup, slap cup.
Chug offs,
chug offs.
The whole thing. If the whole skills competition, if the grand ending ceremony is not sealed with a Das Boot chug off, we've messed up. We've missed the mark.
We just turned Oktoberfest into the Pro Bowl.
Hey, it's not October. That's Beer Fest.
Beer Fest. Yeah. My bad.
Which I think there were some similarities over there. All right. Well. Either way, I'm excited to see what the NFL comes up with. I think the Manning brothers are in the Manning cast. Omaha.
I got faith.
Productions.
I think in the Manning brothers to get that
I
thing
think
rocking.
that they're going to come up with some good stuff. If you guys need anything, need any partners, you want to partner with some brothers.
NFL brothers, get the brothers involved.
Little Omaha, New Heights.
The good
come
brothers.
Up with some good. I mean, hopefully we're both in it. But actually, I hope that we're both in the Super Bowl.
We can call it
outside
Good
of the
Brothers
Super Bowl
production.
Hey. I think it could be a good time. Yeah. Brothers on brothers.
Rihanna has been announced as the Super Bowl halftime show. Apple Music is putting on the halftime Super Bowl this year. It is now called the Apple Music halftime Super Bowl show. What's your favorite halftime Super Bowl?
Well, I've watched the two of your Super Bowl halftime shows. So I saw Shakira and J-Lo and The Weeknd. They are both great performances. I do think the halftime, like, not to be like that guy, like, oh, it's better live. I do think the halftime shows are really cool there.
I'll tell you what, The Weeknd during Super Bowl 55, and I hate even reminiscing about this game because I got smoked, but I was in the locker room and I had to have been right underneath the stage, like, or at least the subwoofers for the concert, because the entire time the locker room was just rattling.
Which one was
with
this?
The bass. This was 55. This is the most recent one in Tampa Bay.
The Weeknd.
Yes, this is The Weeknd. And we were already losing and like trying to like figure things out and fight back, and we just hear this obnoxious bass just ruining our conversations.
Sure.
But outside of that, I think it's kind of on point that what you just said is you got to kind of be there. They're better live because my favorite is definitely Justin Timberlake during your Super Bowl in Minnesota. He gave the Prince, tribute, knowing that Prince had passed a few years before, and it was in Minnesota. It has to be epic. There has to be something that stands out that everybody remembers it for. And him at the end can't stop the feeling as he entered the stands and stuff. I just remember it being a wonderful evening, and then I obviously saw the Eagles get their first Super Bowl win second. So it was an epic night, and I definitely appreciated JT going crazy. He played a catalog of his songs. Sometimes they can, performers go up there, they try and play their new hits sometimes, and it just doesn't hit as much as you would hope it would. I got to see last year's. I thought was awesome, and I didn't even go. There were multiple artists involved in that one, though.
I was actually at that one too, and that one was really good live, but it didn't get so much reviews for whatever reason for the viewers at home. I felt like, but I thought live it was really good. I really do think they do a great job of putting that whole thing together, and the fact that they somehow make that happen during the halftime of a football game is pretty remarkable to me.
Yeah. I remember you were telling me the biggest thing was going into a Super Bowl, like the things that you just don't know. You have to kind of go through them to experience them. One of them is the timing of the Super Bowl. The before, even before that, the beginning of the game, you got an extra like 20 minutes for all the things that they go through in terms of the anthem and
awards.
The
Walter
awards,
Payton
and
Man of
Walter
the Year.
Payton, yeah, exactly, and all that stuff. And then at halftime, obviously, the big production of the Super Bowl halftime performance. Everything gets extended, so it's like an extra hour of time altogether that you're like sitting around, whether it's before, after, in between timeouts and shit and stuff like that. So
Gotta stay
it's
warmed
one of
up.
those things you just got you got to keep the juices going, and not let it sidetrack you, man.
That's right.
Do you have any Rihanna songs on your playlist? Do you listen to Rihanna? She hasn't come out with a lot of new stuff, but I mean, obviously it's Rihanna though. She has a bunch.
Obviously, I would know Rihanna songs if I heard
Wild, wild thoughts. Wild. Legendary. DJ Khaled, Bryson Tiller. I got it. I got a few.
Yeah, I think if I heard them, I would know them. But to say a Rihanna song out of the blue, what's the one where
Umbrella.
she's talking about an umbrella. Yeah, I know that one. What's that one called?
I'll let you put two and two together there, bud.
Is it Umbrella?
Yes. Time for New Heights Stamp of the Week, where me and Jason showcase one of our standout players of the week. Jason, go ahead. Who do you got?
Yeah, I usually, I think, just completely gravitate towards guys that are really coming out of nowhere to make a play for their team, reaching new heights themselves.
All right, now.
So I'm going to go with my man, Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins, receiver for the Raiders now, was an integral.
Former Eagle, right?
That's right. He was a big part of our Super Bowl run. He was the guy that did all of the dirty work. We're running some type of thing, a wham or some type of zone run where you got to dig that safety out. You got to go in there and get him out of there.
Sticking his face in the fan.
I mean, he was one of the most unselfish teammates we had. Unfortunately, had some injury things that kind of stalled his career out in Philadelphia. Went to Miami. Didn't do that much down there. I don't really recall. Then all of a sudden, this week, busts out 8 catches for 158 yards. I thoroughly enjoyed the highlights. This dude was such an awesome teammate. For him to have a game like that, had a touchdown at the end of the game to put them within 2 points. Went up over top, mossed him, gave him the little boy at the end, the little boy signal. I mean, it was dirty, and they unfortunately couldn't get the 2-point conversion. Still lost, but my man Mac Hollins coming up to new heights to go up and get that ball, and man, couldn't be more happy for Mac. Way to go, brother.
Shout out to Mac.
Who you got?
My guy is actually a familiar name, but a guy that hasn't had the success like he's had in college up until now. With a new coach, looks like a new offense, a new rejuvenated team down there in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, Trevor
taking
Lawrence.
his game to new heights this year. Looks very
Listen,
comfortable. You want to talk about a cape? That guy's got he's got the cape flying out the back of the helmet, looking like Captain America, man.
Built-in cape.
Built-in cape.
Captain America, does he have a cape? I don't think he has a cape.
Yeah, but all right, you got me. Looking like Captain Underdog. Threw for 262 yards, which doesn't seem like a lot, but he's got a completions of 28 out of 39 attempts with 3 touchdowns and another win.
The last 2 weeks, our offenses looked really, really good. Obviously, we're seeing what Trevor Lawrence looks like with a legitimate NFL coach who's not just getting lap dances in his bars.
Yeah, this one seems to be a little more buttoned up.
Yeah.
And a familiar face to both of us. I think Coach Doug Pederson's an unbelievably gifted offensive mind. I think he was dialing stuff up for me my rookie year or my first 2-3 years in the league before he went to you guys in Philly. And just a pleasure to work with, man. Just a guy that brings the energy, gets fired up, loves what he does, and has a good command of like the morale of a team.
I mean, yeah, this is kind of a nice segue since you chose the opponent I play next week to give praise to. Great timing on your behalf, but yeah, we got the Jaguars next week. Dougie P is coming back into the link.
First time playing him since he coached in Philly, right?
It is, yeah. This is his first. He took a year off, a little sabbatical, and now the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, I can't say enough great things about Doug Pederson. Obviously, we had a lot of success in Philadelphia. Was the pinnacle of just an awesome person, an awesome coach, and a guy that meant a lot to the entire locker room. As you know, I was with him the first stint when he was with Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Back when he was still a quarterback coach. You had him in Kansas City when he ended up becoming an offensive coordinator, came back to Philadelphia. So I think for a 10-year run, he was coaching a Kelce brother, which is crazy to think, I guess.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
He's coached.
He played
He's
in Philly
coached.
too. So he's coached as a OC or as a QB coach and as a head coach. So he's played and he's just about represented the Philadelphia organization at every single level.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he misses us as much as we miss him. I can't wait to see him next week.
I don't know, man. I think it's a little bad. I don't want to say a bad taste, but I mean, did it end well in Philly for him? Does it end well anywhere for anybody?
Yeah, well, I don't think it. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think it really ends well anywhere, but I think that I hope that Doug looks back at his time in Philadelphia and loves. I mean, he won a freaking Super Bowl. He went to the playoffs 3 times. We had a lot of success, and that was largely, obviously, because of him as the leader and head coach of those teams.
Yeah.
He had an uncanny ability of getting the most out of guys, and we had a great roster. We had a great coach. We accomplished a lot together, and I think the players certainly miss and love Doug. I'm sure that, I mean, the team's so much different now than it was.
Right.
The city, I mean, there aren't too many times a former player comes back to a Philadelphia environment and gets cheered. I really think the link is going to erupt with cheers for Doug Pederson.
They freaking better.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm just saying,
I will
Philadelphia,
say this, though.
if there is one place that you're going to get booed, it's Philadelphia. But I don't know what it is. I feel like
I think they'll give you that first standing ovation, though, if they really respect you. And I think they do for Doug, for sure. I think the initial one will be a good clap. But after that, if you guys start, if it's a tough game for you guys, it's going to – the Philadelphia and everybody's going to come out.
Like you said, most situations end badly, right? Most situations end with sides hating each other or sides being unhappy with each other, which leads to, I think, the fan base resenting a lot of the players that leave or the coaches or people that leave. I don't think it ended like that with Doug. I think Doug I think he left on good terms with the city. I remember people being frustrated with that last season for sure. I mean, we went 4-11-1. But, man, I don't know too many people in Philadelphia that don't love Doug Pederson. And that speaks to the person he is, the coach he is, and what he means to this city. So I really, if I was a betting man or allowed to place bets, I wonder if that's going to be a prop bet. That should be a prop bet this week. Is Doug going to be cheered or booed? I would put I think he's going to get a standing ovation. Really
standing ovation? I think he deserves it for sure. I'm not going to lie, though. Head coaches that have come back to play the Philadelphia Eagles after being a head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles in recent times look like they kind of got your guys' number, man.
Well, yeah, Andy's gotten us, both times you guys have come back to Philadelphia?
All 3, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
all 3 games.
One of them was in Casey. But, I mean, Andy wins a lot of games. I don't know what
it's Andy Reid. I got it.
Right? I mean, he's one of the most winningest coaches of all time.
Doug Pederson a lot. He is a.
Obviously, that's why Doug is a good coach and why he's obviously got this second-year player in Trevor Lawrence playing better than he's played so
reaching
far.
New heights, baby.
New heights.
So you're so you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Get to play
Tom Brady,
legendary Tom Brady once again down there in Tampa. As a lot will recall, I've actually I'm 1-1 against the Bucs in down there in Tampa Bay. At least down there, the same year actually we beat them during the regular season, and then they swept us in the Super Bowl. I think that they're still stacked. They're still stacked, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Those two interior linebackers, you can't say enough about who they are as NFL football players. They just bring that all-around toughness, athleticism, attention to detail. This very smart Devonta David, a guy that I've absolutely respected ever since he's been in the league. Somebody that I'm geared up to play again, because I didn't get the best. I didn't get the best of our matchup the last time we played. I think that he definitely won that matchup, and obviously they won the game. And I think that they're very confident that he can guard me. I think it'll be a very action-packed game, man. I'm excited to get another crack at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man.
Have been a pretty big force the last couple years. Todd Bowles is the defensive coordinator, does some of the most unique and interesting things across the league.
Yep.
He is going to have a game plan geared up for you guys.
100%.
So, I can't wait to, be able to watch this one. Do you have any good Tom Brady stories?
I really don't, man. Not any good ones.
I mean, obviously we have the Super Bowl that we played against him. We won ours against him. I know you guys lost. We won ours against Tom. I think, besides,
what, do you think you're fucking better than me, man? Huh?
I'm just saying. We
You
won the
cooler
game.
than
You
me?
guys lost. I'll never forget a couple things about Tom Brady. One was we had a joint practice against the Patriots, I think in 2013 or 14 when Chip Kelly was there. And, man, I don't know if I was just paying more attention because it's Tom Brady, but I really thought, you want to talk about a guy that takes charge, is telling everybody what to do. Like he was dialed in just for a practice. And, I know that I wasn't the only one that noticed it that day. I think a lot of people felt that. I think he's just, listen, when you play this long, it's for a reason. And when you have that much success, it only comes because of drive and desire and a work ethic that allows you to do so. I know he's getting older now. He's getting rest days on Wednesdays. Let me tell you, in 2013, wasn't nothing resting about him. He was geared up. He was torching our defense in that practice. I think outside of that, I'll never forget. I don't know if Mom was happier that I won the Super Bowl or happier that Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl. Because the first thing she posted on Facebook was a picture of Tom Brady sitting on the turf. And then me in the background, I'm celebrating, but the focus is on Tom. And I'm like, Mom, I just won a fucking Super Bowl. Who the fuck? Why are you focused on Tom right now? Can you focus on your son? She's
He's so damn good.
I guess.
That guy's so damn good.
And then obviously
you beat Bowser, man. You beat the
hey,
the final level, man.
Yeah, we beat Dolph Lundgren in Rocky IV. The Russian. Man, we're filled with Rocky quotes today, baby. All righty. Well, that about wraps up our 4th episode of New Heights. You can watch and subscribe on YouTube to the New Heights channel, and you can find our podcast wherever you choose to find your podcast. Thanks for those who are listening and subscribing, and whoever is still listening to me and my brother shout off nonsense.
Absolute nonsense. Once again, New Heights is a Jukes original presented by Wave Sports and Entertainment. Follow the show on all social media platforms at New Heights Show for fun clips throughout the week. And thanks to our production crew, as they always put that in right at the end for us to say thank you guys. We do genuinely appreciate you guys. And we appreciate all the listeners for tuning in. Tune in next week. Peace.